Hey guys, we're going live tonight everywhere, and we're going to talk about a couple of things. This is like an emergency team meeting. I had a couple of people call me today and ask me about changing some stuff, and so we're gonna talk about that today. Hang on one second here. So I'm Coach Neighbors, and you guys are here, Advocates for Justice, Foreclosure Defense, Paralegal Service. We are different, and we prove it. So tonight we must talk about a couple of different subjects. One is the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit. Now, people are using my documents. You have to remember that what I do is non-conventional, okay? It's not what you generally do. So you can't generally do stuff that you generally do to my stuff, or you generally screw it all up. I'm just saying. So the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit, someone messaged me today and they're concerned about changing the case laws to fit your state. Well, dude, if it's not mentioned in the instructions, you should not be worrying about doing it. Okay. And if they have a problem with it or whatever, well, that's what we'll talk about. Okay. Because we don't do things the way the attorneys do things or the way you learn how to do things in the past. We do stuff different. And what we do is based off of reports from real-time feedback from members of the group, just like you guys, from all over, from California all the way to the other side of the world, so to speak. Okay, to New York. That's the other side of the world to me. But anyway, so you don't need to make all of those changes like you would if it was something that you were preparing to file as a conventional document. Okay, so we're not going to make changes to the documents um, because if you make the changes to the documents, you're changing the document. It's not going to be what I put together for you to use. So remember that. So we don't want to change any of my documents or the documents that you give from me into what they want, into what they usually file. So you see where I'm going with that. Now, when you take the documents into, okay, so a lot of times people are worried about all of these things because they think they're going to get thrown out or they're going to give you a hard time. Well, they're going to give you a hard time. So you might as well just face that. They're going to give you a hard time. And one of the things that I tell people is to make sure that you understand where the filing requirement is for your state. And you look up that filing requirement. Or you can go to the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure and see what the filing requirement is, because the state filing requirement must match the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure filing requirement. Now, why is it that the requirements are different when you go to court and they're up in your face about some other shit you never seen before? That is because they have the local rules. And the local rules are the rules that they put together for the attorneys. And in my opinion, these local rules help your case move faster through the court. Zoom. Yeah, you get the picture with that, right? The faster your case is moving through the court, the more you're getting the shaft and your rights are being stomped on. And that's what these are for. The local rules are not connected with the Constitution, don't have anything to do with the Constitution. And that's the reason why you don't have to follow them. And if they give you a hard time about filing your document or whatever, what you need to do is you need to, first of all, I tell them I need to talk to the supervisor and waste my time. Or maybe I need to talk to the person in charge of the risk department, RISK, that department that you want to contact when you're about to sue them. Mm-hmm. You ask for who's in charge of the risk department. And I think you'll get a little bit of eyebrow raised. At any rate, when the person comes up to talk to you, the only thing you want to ask them is, you want to know if they have the authority to make a legal determination on your pleading. And you don't say anything. It's like selling a car. Once you throw it out there, you don't say nothing. You wait for them to speak. And pretty much the people that have used this, They took their stuff and filed it. With my knowledge is everybody that had to use this, they took their stuff and filed it. So that's how one of the ways you get around that. But I'm going to tell you right now, okay, when you roll with me, they're going to come up with all kind of reasons to get out of filing your stuff. So when you're putting your stuff together, don't run around worrying about, oh, I'm going to worry about it. They're not going to take it. They're going to try not to take it. And we have a plan for that. And we got a program for that. So don't worry about that. What you need to worry about is making sure that you have in the document what you need to smash their asses up in the face. That's what you need to worry about. So with that being said, don't worry about all that. I have people all nervous. Oh, I got to get it right the first time. Dude, it don't have to be perfect. Okay. If you want it perfect, like what they want, then you should hire an attorney to do it for you. Okay. Well, you see what I can't believe I said that, but I think I made my point, right? It does not have to be perfect. You got to get it freaking filed on the record. I have so many people that worry so much about making it perfect. They spend all this time trying to make it perfect, and then they run around at the end trying to get it filed at the last minute. Well, dude, if you file it in time when they get a chance to chew on it, then they have to make a decision. If you file it at the last minute, they're just going to mow you over because that's how they roll. And then they're going to try and figure it out later. Now, if that's the only thing, the only goal, if that's the only option that you have because of the situation that, say you found me after you're already about to get in trouble, then you got to do what you got to do. But I'm just saying, for the people who have plenty of time, they take all this time researching and trying to look up the stuff, okay, so it took me years to learn this stuff. You guys ain't going to find it overnight fast enough to be able to get your stuff together and file it. So you're going to have to trust me and get it filed. And then after you get it filed, if you want to pick at it, knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. But don't come and tell me, hey, I got a problem with something in it because my attorney friend told me that it was a problem, because I had a guy do that and apparently I get a little grumpy. I think I sent him to the bench. Yeah, so that's the deal on that. So one of the other things that people are having a hard time about is why the Attorney General's name is on the document up there where it is. And it's there for a reason. So it's red, replace it with your Attorney General's name or whatever, and the attorney's name is down near the bottom underneath the defendants or whatever. That my documents are not the same as what you are used to filing, and they work. And a lot of times my documents are not designed for the same thing that you're used to designing documents to do in court. Okay. So this document, when you put the Attorney General name at the top and you serve the Attorney General a copy, not just mail them. I would serve the Attorney General a copy. I would serve this to everyone and make them sign for it. Okay. Because once they see what it is, they're going to try to get out of it. Now, the reason we got the Attorney General's name on there is because the judge so what's been going on is the judge has been trying to help these attorneys get out of the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit. Because number one, they can't respond with a counter affidavit because they're lying. So everything they're doing is fraud. So they can't respond by counter affidavit, and they damn sure can't respond to the stuff that we have in it. So the judge helps them. And that's is the problem for the judge. And when the judge does help them, then you're going to use your magistrate judge reconsideration package. Now, just because it says magistrate judge don't mean anything. It's for any judge, okay? And in that reconsideration package are the documents you need to get up in the judge's face. You will have a motion for reconsideration, and then you'll attach a file stamp document of everything that you filed in court that they're ignoring to that motion for reconsideration. Because most people don't realize that the district judge never even looks at your stuff. What happens is the district judge or the clerk hands stuff to the magistrate judge. The magistrate judge fills out a report, and his report goes back up to the district judge. And then the district judge dismisses your stuff based off of a report from the magistrate judge. Okay, so let's just start with square one. The magistrate judge does not have jurisdiction to be involved in your case at all without the signatures from all parties. Look it up. The easiest way to do it is to Google magistrate judge consent form and your state. And in most cases, it'll pull up one or two from the top, the magistrate judge consent form from your state, and you can read it. And you can see right on there. It says, if the magistrate judge doesn't have consent under this law, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But they do all day long because nobody addresses it. And most people don't know this, and attorneys ain't going to tell you this because they're trying to get stuff moved through the court really fast so they can take more homes, make more money, and throw more people out on the street. So that's why the magistrate judge. So when you jam the magistrate judge up, you do your motion of reconsideration. Then you have a motion in there to recuse the judge. And people have, you have no idea how much power you have. You just need to learn how to use it. That's the problem. You need to learn how to use it. When you recuse a judge, you do not have to prove that the judge was impartial. All you have to do is show if there's an appearance of impartiality. That's all you need. Read the document. It's in your packet. And the best thing people can do to help themselves is this jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit is the best document that you can file, especially if you're in a judicial foreclosure, to blow the whole case up. If you're in non-judicial foreclosure, then you could use that document to challenge eviction court's jurisdiction and put a stop to the sale and all of that stuff. Because if you stop the eviction court's jurisdiction, then they can't continue with the sale. And then in the process, that'll give you time to get your lawsuit filed in federal court. And once you get your title dispute filed, then you use that to control the whole thing. You guys watch the video, right? So I'm going to try and stay on track here. So make sure you know. Oh, I want to finish the Attorney General. The reason we have the Attorney General on the document is because when the judge gets involved, the judge is going to have to help them. And when the judge helps them, you're going to have to turn your sights on the judge, because the judge is acting outside the law and can be held liable for taking jurisdiction without legal authority. And that's what you're going to do. At the end of the day, it don't matter who you sue, as long as you're suing somebody for what they're doing to you, what they're trying to do to you, okay? And if the judge is blocking you from getting in court to have your day in court, that's who we're going to go after. And when they help the attorneys do what they are going to help the attorneys do, you have all the documents you need to go after them. Now, when you file a lawsuit against a judge or against an officer of the state or against the city or against anybody that's connected with the state, where do you file it? The Attorney General's office. So what we're doing with this document is putting the Attorney General on notice that you're filing this jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit, and you want to make sure that they know you're doing this. So when the judge ignores everything and do what they usually do, then you're going to be sending your lawsuit to, and including the Attorney General on it as well when you do your lawsuit. And the Attorney General is the one that's got to defend this stuff. So I'm thinking, if I was Attorney General and I got that document and I looked at what's on it, and I know that they can't respond in court to what's on it, I think that I would be making a phone call to make sure that I don't have to deal with this crap later on down the road. So that's the idea behind that. So none of my documents are designed to go into court and have the judge rule in your favor. That shit never happens. I haven't seen it happen. I've been doing this for a minute, okay? So it's important to remember that my documents are structured for different purposes and different reasons, and they're not what you are used to seeing. So make sure that you serve a copy to the Attorney General so you can put the Attorney General on notice and have the Attorney General get on the phone and call down and see what the hell's going on, because that's what you want. You don't want to wait around for the judge to rule, because we already know that ain't going to help nobody except the attorneys. So you need to figure out how to get the people higher up that's keep an eye on them involved before it gets to that. And so that's kind of what we do. Now you got these fools over here running around with their boss, so to speak, looking at what's going on and making a call. Yeah, and then all the other people that's involved that you don't have their names on the lawsuit, but have their names on the other lawsuits for the property, they're going to be freaking out too. So that's why we do this. It's a little bit different than what you're generally used to doing, but the goal of my documents is not the same goal that you're used to having when you file documents. So we ain't trying to go to court. Oh, hell no. We do not want to be in court, okay? I know a lot of stuff, and I don't want to be in court either. And you got to understand, okay, their program is structured to argue. And when the arguing's done, the judge gets to help them. I mean, it's pretty freaking simple. So we go to the table with stuff they don't want to argue about because we don't want the judge to have to help. But if the judge does have to help them, we want some heat to be on the judge's ass. And that's why we put the Attorney General's name on there. Because the Attorney General is going to be calling that judge, find out what the hell's going on down there because they ain't getting your ass under control. The other thing with the jurisdictional challenge was an affidavit that people are not doing, and some people are going to get stuck on the bench, is when you file that, okay, the judge has no say in it at all. And if you take the time to read the document, you will see that in the document, you are demanding the judge to order them fools to prove jurisdiction on the record like they're supposed to. Okay, the judge does have no jurisdiction to answer all. I have people who file this stuff and they wait for the judge. Oh, hell no, that's not what we do here. Okay, we ain't waiting for the judge for nothing. We don't want the judge in our business. Okay, we do not want the judge in our business. If you file this stuff, you ain't waiting for the judge. Okay, because we are the judge gonna look at that. Oh, hell no, dude, I got your back. We're just gonna no. You need to get on the internet and look in the civil rules of the federal rules of civil procedure and figure out how long these fools have to answer. And you need to make sure that when they're served, the clock is started. And when their time to respond has elapsed, I would be down there that same day filing what I need to file to handle the fact that they didn't respond. That notice of default to stick right in their face. So what people are doing, just filing it, and then they're going sitting down. They don't even check. I'm just going to wait till I hear something. Oh, what you'll hear is, yeah, they're knocking on your door to throw you out. That's what you're going to hear, okay? So if you file my stuff, you need to make sure that you're on top of it because they're not going to be able to respond. And you should already have your stuff ready for their non-response. Your motion for D. It's in the packet. I had a lady ask me, so do I have that in the packet? I'm like, oh my God, you're killing me here. And she got mad when I told her that. But I'm a coach, okay? And I'm going to call it like I see it. And if any time that you guys don't think I'm being the best coach I can be, I want you to step up and tell me. I used to say the same thing to my kids. And it cost me a lot. So I can say it now because I don't think, you're going to be able to have maybe once or twice or something if I'm having it really, really bad. Okay, never mind. I'll just blow the But you need to make sure that you're covering your butt. And if they can't respond because they're not going to be able, you read that document, they can't respond to it. You need to be ready to go. Okay. Don't call me at what do I do? You should already know what you're going to do. Okay. And I hate it when people call me the same day they get something in the mail. Oh, I'm maxed out. And then they find out later on it's a bunch of crap. Yeah. Oh, the other thing I hate too is when people call me while they're on the phone. Had a guy call me on the phone. He's all maxed out. We talked for about 30 minutes and we hung up. And I tell him everything he needed to do. And I didn't tell him to take notes. I figured he was. Then he called me back about 45 minutes later. Want to talk about the whole thing again. I'm like, no, dude, we already went over that. Well, then he said, oh, I was driving. I'm like, oh, dude, really? Okay, so I'll get off my soapbox now. So you guys need to make sure that you know what you need to do when they fail to respond on the merits. And you need to have the document ready. There's no reason that you can't have the document prepared because you got everything that you need to put in it. They're not, all you need to do is put their names and stuff in because the rest of it's already set up. Because I already know they're not going to be able to respond, okay? So you need to make sure you have your game plan ready to file documents the same day when they're in default. Now, someone asked me about the case laws, and they wanted to change the case laws, and so you don't need to do that. And most of my documents, I use federal case law because, in my opinion, state case law is BS. Otherwise, it couldn't be trumped by federal and Supreme Court case law. I'm just saying. Yeah, and keeping it simple. So I have, let me do a screen share, and I'm going to show you guys this. Maybe I can figure this out. Okay, here we go. Now I need to come over here and do a screen share. And I want to share that screen. Okay, so here is the screen share. So I use federal case law even if I'm filing something in state court. And you can do that based off of this case law right here. And if you stop and think about it, and I have this in some of the documents, so if you ever need it, if they ever challenge you for this, because you'll know they're nitpicking because they don't have nothing else to complain about. So that's a good thing. And that's why I didn't put this in every document. And I didn't think about it. I would have to redo everything, and that would take a really long time. So if you ever need the case law showing that you can use federal case law in state court, then just send me an email or something, and I'll send it over to you. Or you can just copy this off the video and look it up. Google it. That's what I tell people. Google it. You'd be surprised what you can find on Google. Google it. So while we're sharing the screen, I want to share something else with you guys too. So a lot of the times people are running around trying to get their stuff looking just like it would look if it was written by an attorney. And that's such a crock of crap because attorneys don't have no license. So when the court's holding you to the same standard as a licensed attorney, they're holding you to a higher standard because attorneys don't have no license. And so my online course is set up for people who are have investors who have invested in property. And it's also set up for people who want to do what I'm doing and help other people with this problem. And if you enter the course, you will have everything that you need to do everything that we're doing. The course has everything in it. Now, this is one of the things that I use when they get in my face that I'm doing the unauthorized practice of law without a license. I don't even play. I just tell them, look, if you show me your license, I'll shut the hell up and go sit down. Can you text me a copy of your license? I'm not talking about your bar card, okay? Because the bar card is just a certificate, and like it says right here, and it's not a license to do anything. Oh, there's one right there. Yep. The state bar card is not a license. It's a union dues card. And the bar is not a professional association. It's a RICO racket. Yeah, I just came up with that, the RICO racket. Yeah, I'm on a roll. So you can see here, yeah. So I moved to dismiss their stuff, and I post all of this stuff. Dude, are you kidding me? I got like 3 pages of. So the last time that I had an attorney, this was last month. I had an attorney well, no, it wasn't an attorney. It was an investigator from the Bar Association from the state of California sent me an email to let me know that I was involved with unauthorized practice of law without a license, and he was investigating me for that. And so I emailed him back, and I told him that Well, if he has a license, I sure like to see it, because under the Swear versus Board of Examiners, no state can license practice of law. So I don't know what he's talking about. But if he wants to discuss the issue, he can call me at 1 o'clock Central Time. He can get I'm on HamiltonRadio.net at 1 o'clock at Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Central Time every Wednesday. And he can call me and we can discuss the situation on the air. And if he doesn't call me or just not interested in discussing the situation on the air, and I get another correspondence from him stating that I'm doing something illegal, or find out that he put something on the public record or any place that I'm doing something illegal, that I will be suing him for $5.5 million. I will also be suing him for his assets and his bar card, because he don't have a license, right? So I can get the bar card and the bond, and I'll be suing him for all of that. And I already have the lawsuit put together, because when I put this program together, I needed to make sure that I could protect myself. And so I put the stuff together that I need. So if they come and harass me, that my packet that I need is already ready. And if I need my packet while I'm locked up, I'll have them send my packet to me, and then I'll give everybody copies of it. Yeah, I did that before. But that's a different story. And I think I had one more thing I wanted to share. Let me see. Nope, I think that was it. So we're going to get out of the screen share. Maybe. Okay. So let me check and see if there's any questions. Oh, I got some comments over here. Oh, hey everybody! I see you guys over here now. I was in a different window, so I didn't see all these people that are leaving comments. You know, I can figure out. I can make these comments. Those comments to some distance. There's a way I can make the comments show at the bottom of the screen, but I have to figure that out. So, A Mills 25 sells LLC. She says, "Do you have the what again?" So I don't know what. So I'm going to post some notes from what I'm talking about when I do this video, and I post it on my YouTube channel, and I'll post some of the notes that I'm using in the Facebook page too, so you guys can see. So Alex Gutierrez says the first duty of the attorney is to the court and not the public and not the client. No, the first duty of the attorney is to protect the judge. Okay, and this is implemented in our strategy, because once the judge, so the judge is protecting the attorney is protecting the judge. And when you turn your sights on the judge, and the judge is looking at facing civil liability, now the attorney is going to have to make a decision. Do we want to go through with this, or do I want to try to do some kind of a deal? Because the judge is going to get jammed up when they allow the attorneys to represent themselves and the law firm after they're the number one defendant on them. So they're going to have a lot of problems with anything you get from me. So, and right to know, do you think the attorney should be signing a state disclosure that he ain't representing you? Yes, that mofo is bleeding you dry. Okay, so under FARA, the Foreign Agent Registration Act, okay, these attorneys are supposed to disclose a lot of stuff they're not disclosing. So you can look up FARA, the Foreign Agent Registration Act, and it's actually was enacted into federal law. And there is a national attorney general that's supposed to handle all of this stuff. It's like crazy, because they don't do nothing because most people don't know or have the courage to throw this in the attorney's face. And under FAR, these attorneys are foreign agents, and they're supposed to register and fill out all this paperwork and who they're working for and what they're making, all of this stuff. And they're supposed to have it posted so you can go to their office and review it, because it's a federal law that they're supposed to do all of this stuff, and they never do. Now, I have people tell me, well, I mentioned it in court and the judge didn't do nothing. Well, the judge ain't gonna do nothing because the judge is freaking guilty too of the same shit. Okay, so you need to handle it different, be more creative. What I tell people to do, I call the attorneys and tell them, hey, I want to come down and take a look at your foreign agent registration statement paperwork to make sure that you're legal to even be getting in my face. Because if you don't have that documentation filled out, then you're not legally, you can't legally be in court up in my face. And I would tell them I need to schedule a time to come down and look at it. But before you do that, you need to get on the website and educate yourself. Okay, so you know what they're supposed to be doing and what and all that. That's the first order of business. Then you need to get on the phone and start harassing them. And if they don't have the documents, then I'd file a motion to dismiss because they don't have standing before the court. There's so many different ways to jam the attorneys up in state court. So a lot of times when people file their lawsuit in federal court ain't trying to have this dirt up in their stuff because they ain't trying to be in the middle of this. So they're going to be trying to get rid of your ass too. Federal court don't want nothing to do with it, but they're kind of stuck they're kind of stuck between a rock and a rock, because the minute federal court tells you that they don't have jurisdiction to hear your case, which is totally ridiculous, because if you're asking for more than $75,000, they have jurisdiction to hear it. If it's a constitutional violation, they have jurisdiction to hear it, and we can go on down the list. It's property issue, and they have jurisdiction to hear it because all of the property laws are federal. So yeah, but they try that stuff. They have jurisdiction to hear it. So you need to keep that in mind. Now, this is what I tell people. If the federal court's trying to get out of hearing your case saying that they don't have jurisdiction because of Rooker-Feldman or because of something that they use in Colorado, that's bull, okay? Bull. And this is what you tell them. Look, federal court has jurisdiction because state court don't have jurisdiction to hear a foreclosure case because the attorneys are foreign agents. And as a foreign agent, they have to file their crap in federal court. Now, that would be like someone from another country suing you in state court. That ain't never going to happen. As a matter of fact, if you sue someone in another state, you have to go through federal court. So the whole foreclosure crap should have been filed in federal court in the first place. I like my job. I pick their stuff apart and then set it up so you guys can take it and stick it up in their face. And that's putting it nice. So it's a family show tonight, so I'm trying to be nice. But I think you guys get the picture, right? So MX Capital said, dump the attorneys, pandemic, and much more. Go away. Okay, so Kevin Tyler, welcome, Kevin. And he's saying, foreclosure defense paralegal service. What would be the first step in my dad's foreclosure? They issued a court date on November 19th. So, Kevin, we'd have to talk about that because there's like lag time when I'm like, if I type something, it'll be a little bit of lag time before you get it. And, you can find me in the Facebook group. I'll put a link to it. And then you can mention that you talked to me in the YouTube or on the stream, and that your dad's facing foreclosure. There's some questions in the group and that you have to answer to get in the group. So just answer the questions honestly, and there won't be a problem. So I'll leave a link in this comment section to the YouTube group. To the Facebook page, where you can go and ask questions about the lawsuit packages and stuff. And that'll be a good place to go. Now, What I need, let me go ahead and leave that when I'm thinking about it. Okay, here we go. Now this is to my foreclosure rescue, my private page. So I have it private so that Yahoos can't get in there stirring up trouble. And I have a few that have been trying, a few haters, and they're a little jealous because we're growing. Oops, that's okay. That's not the right one. That's for the paralegal school and for the, I don't know how I got two in one, and for the online course. So that's not the one. So people in the online course will have to ask me questions from the online course, and people that are using the lawsuit packages will have to ask me their questions from the foreclosure rescue Facebook page. And I have it set up that way so that we're talking about the same thing, because we can't have too many different things, and then it's going to be hard to find when people are asking me questions. And this is why I don't really like to have posts posted that don't really have to do with people's specific cases or questions, because then it makes it harder to find when people are asking me questions, because I have so much junk in there. And my page is, I have a lot of leads coming from Google AdWords going to my page, and I like the new people to see things at the top. So I'm going to find the right one here. So that should be the right one. Yeah. And I'm also going to leave a link. I'm also going to leave a link to my YouTube channel, so you guys from Facebook can go to my YouTube channel. Now, when you're on my YouTube channel, you must understand that the video titles have two sections. The first section of the title is just the words that I use from YouTube to make my video rank. The second part of the title is actually what the video is about. So that's a good way to look at it and be able to. Oh, and also the videos are segregated into playlists. So there's a playlist for jurisdictional challenges. There's a playlist for tips and strategies in court. There's a playlist for, and so that can help you a little bit get closer to what you need to be looking at, as opposed to looking at all 100 and something videos and freaking out. So that's a good way to look at that situation there. Okay. So that's all I got for tonight. Let me check my list again to make sure that I covered everything, because I didn't want to have to write myself up for slacking. Oh, no, there's another thing, jurisdiction. So jurisdiction is the only thing that you want to challenge if you're in my program. Okay, that's it. We ain't talking about what the lender did, the servicer, none of that crap. Okay. If you go into foreclosure court talking about the banking system, you're going to need to go home and start packing your stuff. I'm just telling you. We're only going to talk about the jurisdiction issues. And the judge has no legal authority to deny or respond to your challenge of jurisdiction with an affidavit. Okay. And if the judge does respond, it's time to sue the judge. And the documents that you need for that are in the package. So the magistrate judge reconsideration package, we kind of talked about that, all that, it's all in the package. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you're suing, as long as you're holding somebody responsible for your damages. And the other thing is, this kills me. People are running around following their rules, and their rules limit yourself. And here's the thing, okay? They're not following the stinking rules. They're not following any of them. So why the hell should you be following them? I got people, oh, I got to do this. I got to do this extra stuff. No, you don't have to do that crap. Put your stuff together, stick it in their face, and tell them, look, you got authority to make it a legal determination on my stuff? No, file my stuff, and I'll take it up with the judge. Unless you want me to add you to my stuff, because I know I'm going to be adding the judge's ass at some point. Okay. I got a little carried away. But you know what? That's the way you got to handle yourself. You got to be like 2 steps from having them tell you they're going to call the police on your ass. Because if you don't act like that, they're going to just mow you down. Because they're so used to stepping on everybody's face, they don't even really understand until you come to the table with some fire. So people need to stop freaking out about them not accepting your documents, because that is just what they're going to do. They're going to try to not accept your stuff. So don't be freaking out, stressing out. Put your shit together. If they dismiss it, they have to tell you why. And they can't just dismiss it and not allow you opportunity to cure the problem. They can't just dismiss your claim for a form. They can tell you all of that stuff, but if you spend any time reading the civil rules of procedure, you'll find out that they can't do that stuff. And those rules are really good to spend a little bit of time on. Now, when people look at them, they freak out because there's so many, but you don't need to learn all of them. You just need to learn the rules that pertain to what you're trying to do or what they're trying to do, because you want to know what you have to do and you want to know what they have to do. Okay, otherwise they ain't going to do it and you won't know that they're supposed to do it. Okay, you see where I'm going with this, right? So that's all I got for tonight, guys. This is kind of like off of the cuff emergency thing, because I want to make sure that people aren't changing the document and changing all the case laws and then making state and all of that stuff. That's not all you got to change, is what's in the red font. The rest of the stuff you need to leave in there unless there's something going on with your case that's different or something like that. So, in most cases, everything is pretty much the same. I got a couple of people with some HOA issues, and we're looking into that right now to see if we can put together something that's a little more specific for the HOA situation. And we also are working on a new project for anybody that has Airbnbs. If you have Airbnb and your city's trying to shut you down, we're about ready to do something for that too. That's the next project. And my wife has a couple of them. So I'm going to have to make this package, well, I can't say more badass, but I don't know if that's possible, but that's what I'm shooting for. So thanks, guys. And I will see you guys in the next stream.